Most people who want to play the piano only think that it's possible by playing sheet music. You can play chords in combination with color blocks, which I think is the most easy way, and it doesn't require you to start from scratch by playing each note individually, but instead you're starting with the left hand, playing predefined patterns slash arpeggios, and I call it the color blocks. So this is a method that I created. I always struggled with sheet music. I always wanted to play my own music, or I wanted to play movie soundtracks from films that I loved. And after doing repetitions for many years, I realized that I created my own system, and I want to teach that to you. And right now I'm able to fully improvise on the piano completely free, from anywhere on the keyboard, any key across the keyboard. I play in a Michelin restaurant occasionally, and I play my color blocks. When I hear a song on the radio, I can usually instantly replicate the melody or the full song from just by using my ear. I can create my own music, and this is how I did it. Welcome to the color block methods. So what is the color block method? Predefined arpeggios in the left hand is the fundament of the music that you're playing. So what are we doing essentially? We have 5 colors in total: red, blue, yellow, purple, and green. And every color represents a color. Combining these colors allows you to create organic music. I teach that inside my classroom. So when you click on the link below, you have the opportunity to join a community full with piano enthusiasts, and essentially it guides you through my whole method. It's completely free of charge. You have the ability to play 3 songs in 30 days. Actually, I was thinking to change that, but I like it for now. Anyway, it has the full training for free. So you have the blue block, the red block, all recorded in slow, medium, and fast, and with nice graphics. Also, if you know how to read sheet music, I have included it if you want to transition. Like if you know classical, if you have practiced classical piano, then you definitely will benefit from this. And I created some graphics if you want to play any color. This is the yellow block. This is the green block. Looks a little bit more complex, but essentially it is this. That's the green block. And essentially it guides you through the whole program. So first you learn each block individually, then you learn how to play them in a sequence. So the patterns are always the same. Just the starting position can differ. Now I played C, F, C, D, but let's follow this example: C, G, C, G. So I have a video of that, but I can play it right now for you. Let's check. If this is going too fast for you, it's totally understandable. And then you can just click on slow. But what I've noticed is that beginners like it, but also intermediate players like it. And I even have heard from expert classical piano players that they love to use my color blocks in order to break free from sheet music. So the problem with sheet music is that when you always require a piece of paper in order to fully express yourself on the piano, then you don't know where to start. And that is totally understandable, because if you are used to play from paper, from sheet music, then that is your guidance. But what I teach people is that your ear is your guide. And when your ear is your guide, it helps you create your own music very easily. I mean, relatively easily. A taste for yourself. You develop your own sound. Let me give an example of that. So when you combine color blocks in order with start positions, you can, for example, play C, F, D, G, and if we all play that in the red block, it sounds like this. So when I play that 2 cycles, it sounds okay. But if you play that 4 cycles or longer, it starts to sound generic. So what do we do when it sounds generic? The problem with sounding generic is that, or repetitive, is that people get used to what you're playing. What you want to do is to break that cycle, because you want people to tell you, oh, what you're playing is very nice, and not like, oh, well done. So in order to surprise people constantly is to create organic music. As soon as it gets repetitive, just like this, then it sounds very robotic, right? It sounds like not good anymore. What do? We combine the different colors. So if I change from red to yellow or purple or green, or add any of these colors, it can sound like this. Oh, sorry. Etc. So the different colors that we played is yellow, green, purple. We're skipping blue for a moment because the blue block is only 4 notes. It's only this. And the other patterns are 8 notes. Alright, so you can play this from anywhere on the keyboard. If you're a beginner, I would suggest to only use white keys, so you can choose to play this pattern from C, D, E, F, G, A, B. However, the B is something you would likely to avoid because it's a diminished chord. If you don't know what that is, just ignore that and don't play the B. If you choose any of the other ones, it sounds probably already nice. For example, let's choose a random order. Let's start with F, G, A, G, and let's cycle that over and over. I only use the red block right now. Let's add in a yellow block somewhere. There it is. Yellow. Purple. Etc. Okay, so that is only white keys. Let's go to the exciting part. So right now we're only playing in the key of C major or A minor, but how can we apply color blocks to any key on the keyboard? So if you know sheet music and you see 6 sharps or 6 flats at the start of the song, it is possible that you panic and you don't know where to start. In the essence, it's very simple. You don't have to be panicking. It is a pattern that you will recognize later on. And if you don't panic, then that is also totally fine. Maybe you have some experience with playing in different keys. And then, for example, if you want to play, let's just dive in. It's better that I show you instead of explaining you. So let's play F sharp minor. The chord F sharp minor is an F sharp, an A, and a C sharp. And how to play the red block from there? We essentially use that triad in order to play the red block. Let's play D major. And back. In my right hand I'm playing an octave. And this is already very cinematic. What am I playing right now? I'm playing an F sharp minor red block and a D major red block. And when I get bored, I can, or when you get bored, you can include a yellow block. Sorry. Let me explain a little bit about the right hand. My melody is very simple. My melody is only F sharp and G sharp. So when I'm improvising, this applies to multiple art disciplines, I would say, but you're always looking for a conflict and you're always looking for a release. So you're looking for tension and you're looking for a solution. So when I create tension, like this, my melody is like this. When you play them together out of context, they sound dissonant. But if you play the F sharp and the A together, they sound consonant. What does dissonant and consonant mean? Just in very simple terms, consonant means beautiful, dissonant means ugly. So the consonant tones that I'm playing are part of the chord we're playing. That's why it sounds nice. But if I add in notes that are not part of the chords, you're adding a very interesting tension note to the whole frequency spectrum that instantly sounds interesting and less definable. So what we're doing is we're trying to find tension and we're trying to find a solution. And why do we want to do that? Because our audience doesn't like to be bored. And the goal of that is, to keep them engaged, essentially. And what else can we do in order to create something beautiful that is relatively simple? So obviously I started with a F sharp and a G sharp. That's something you definitely can try. Also, if you are past the beginner phase, this is I think a very good exercise for you to try out. So let's go to the next thing we can try out. And as you know, in the left hand we're continuously playing arpeggios / color blocks. Color blocks are essentially arpeggios. If we combine that with arpeggios in the right hand, it can create just so much more organically nice sounds. I don't know how to describe it. Like I said, let me just demonstrate it to you, and let me just show it to you instead of telling you. So I am playing a lot of notes here. So if you have no idea, if you, for example, jump in this video at the 20-minute mark and you're seeing this exact thing, you see a lot of individual notes going on, and you probably have no idea what I'm doing. But if you have watched the previous 20 minutes, you know what I'm doing. Because in the left hand, I'm playing 2 different color blocks, and in the right hand, I am only playing this. So the note that I just added in the first part of the right hand was the G sharp, right? That was the other one. Now, instead of G sharp, I am adding C sharp. And I'm adding another F sharp with my pinky finger. I play the C sharp with my index finger. And I just let it cycle continuously while pressing the sustain pedal. In order to practice this, I would advise to make it sound like a robot first. Like when you do it for the first time, try to keep note length consistent. When you do this for the first time, it's totally normal if it sounds like this. But if you already have a little bit of experience, I think it is easier to replicate this. What I do next is I press the sustain pedal, which is the right one on an acoustic piano, the one on the right 99% of the times, and I try to make it sound like a wave in the ocean. So a wave in the ocean starts very slow, and then it builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it goes slower again. So it goes like this, like the ocean's waves. It's a pattern that you always see in nature, not only in the waves, but I think the waves are the best visual representation of this. So we start very slow. Sorry, I mean we start very soft. And gradually we play a little bit louder. And we go a little bit softer. And this ocean's wave you can apply to like micro dynamics, but also major dynamics. Like you can apply it to a whole song, but you can also apply it to only one measure. So you can also apply it to one pattern. Maybe I go a little bit too in depth here, but what I'm trying to say is that you can also apply it like this. You can also apply it to speed. Again, maybe I'm going a little bit too in depth here, but we're starting slow. And gradually we go faster and slower. Okay, so that's the second thing I wanted to say about the right hand. Before we end this video, I want to talk about the third thing we can do in the right hand. But before I do that, I want to show you the community a little bit. When you click on the link below, there you go to this page where you can join a group of more than 200 people who like to play the piano from all over the world. So if I click on the map, you can see that there are people in Canada, in the United States, in Brazil, all the way in Africa and in Europe, and all the way in Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand. And it's just a fantastic experience to ask questions or to share your wins with the community. So if this is something that you would like to be a part of, I would say feel free to join and yeah, ask your questions, and yeah, that would be fantastic. So other than that, let's dive into the third thing you can do with the right hand. It's something that I always like to say. Yeah, like playing the piano is like also having a conversation. This is something I teach in my high ticket program, actually. So when people want one-on-one coaching offer, that's possible, and this is one of the things that I teach there. When you improvise, you can start with, you can have melodic questions and melodic answers. So let's go back to the basics. We have our red block from C. With the right hand, let's play from A red. With the with A red, with the right hand you can create melodies, right? So this is a thing from film composing. I am a film composer, and this is kind of coming from the film composition world. And what you can do with the right hand is ask a question. Let me give an example. And a question ends with a question mark. That's how it sounds, right? And the answer ends with a chord tone. The question, the answer. The question, there's the answer. The question. And the answer. So what people ask me when they learn a little bit about the color blocks and a little bit about the right hand, how can we continue? How can I continue with my right hand? And my answer is always, you can ask questions and make answers with your right hand. In order to do that, you need some knowledge about stable and unstable notes. So in the scale, you have stable and unstable notes. The stable ones are part of the chord that we're currently playing. we're playing A minor, and the stable notes in this chord are A, C, E. Doesn't matter where you play them on the piano, they are always stable as you play this chord. Every other note is unstable. I play a B here. So I am telling you right now, but if I'm not telling you, you can use your ear in order to identify if the note is stable or unstable. So if I play a B together with the A minor chord, it sounds a little bit conflicting, right? More conflicting than this one. What do you think about this one? Sounds good or sounds a little bit strange? Sounds good. What about this one? A little bit conflicting, correct? So, and this one sounds good. The E is part of the chord. So when I change the chord, for example to F in an, like this, the E is conflicting because we're playing F major and the E is not part of that chord. I know that this is a very common chord, the F7, but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking very basic. Is the E part of F major? And the answer is no. The F obviously is part of the F major chord. The bottom line of this is that a beautiful melody is a combination of stable and unstable notes. And why am I saying that? If you only play stable notes, it sounds like this. If I play it in major, it sounds like a child song, kind of, right? Alright, so if I only play unstable notes, it sounds a little bit strange. It sounds tense and it can be maybe a little bit weird. And I need to really think how to play that because it requires some brain capacity. Oh, there we go. That's only unstable. So let's try to create a beautiful melody. We combine stable and unstable notes. And you are completely free to come up with any melody essentially. So yeah. Actually, this reminds me another melody. Mess it up. So that is essentially a lot of stable and unstable notes in The Lion King. And it's a very beautiful melody, of course. So if this is something that you feel aligned with, I'm super happy to invite you over to the Secret Piano Games, which is the free community on School that I created more than a year ago. And it's just yeah, it's like a fantastic way to learn the piano without cheap music, without distractions, without overwhelm, and it's easy to implement, super fast results. It's stress relieving, like you just come back from work and you want to play the piano and just play away all your feelings. It sounds amazing. You can improvise freely, you can learn how to play by ear. It's calming and relaxing, and like I just said, you can just sit and play these patterns that you visualize for yourself on the piano. So if you like that, join a group of people who love cinematic improvisation, playing famous songs and movie soundtracks. Hope to see you inside, and thanks for watching this video. If you like this, you can press the like button and subscribe to this channel, and I'm looking forward to meet you.